Well, welcome back to whatever this YouTube channel is called. I'm Kevin, and we're continuing on with this Yamaha Royal Star Venture project. And what you've seen in the previous couple videos is put quite a bit of work into it so far. I've spent the last week filming the carburetor rebuild. New gaskets went on the valve covers. These are ready to go. And now the next piece remaining is I think today I can get this bike to fire up. All the pieces are here, and I have the whole afternoon still. So the things we need to do is the carburetor has to go back in. Got to mount it up to the air intakes and little rubber boots down here. Vacuum lines get hooked up to the carb. Throttle cables get put back on. We're gonna have to refill the coolant. I drained all the coolant out so I could pull the hoses in order to do, it's back over here, in order to do the valve covers. So it needs a new filling of coolant. From there, I can probably clean up some of these wires, get the tank back on, get all the fuel lines connected back again, and the coolant actually overflow thing needs to go back in there too. But once all of that is on and I put some fresh gas in, I think this thing will start up. That'll be the moment of truth, and that will decide the fate of this project. So stick with me, keep watching. This little series will be hopefully ending with a running motorcycle. See you around. Alright, as you just saw in the time lapse, everything's back on. The tank, the carbs, the air box. I mean, it all came on pretty good. Bolts are in, coolant's topped off. This is the moment of truth. So the petcock's going to go to the on position. There is a fuel pump. The line's completely dry, so I'm going to have to crank it quite a few times. Choke's got to come out. Should probably open the garage door. There's the fuel pump. Hopefully that means it sucked up some fuel. We're in the out position. I think that we are in neutral. Here's our moment of truth. Choke is out, so that's good. Guess I can give a little bit of throttle.
Put it on reserve. Well, it's pumping up.
Oh, it is really low. I could put it on reserve just to be safe. That is a very good sign. A very good sign indeed. We'll leave the choke running for a bit. I did not expect that to go as smoothly as it did.
Definitely not one right.
There you go.
It's probably not warmed up.
All right.
Good job.
That's a very good sign, ladies and gentlemen, that worked like it did. It sputtered out, so there's some issues here, but it's definitely a good sign. The smoking has stopped. Yeah, it's good. I tried closing the door, I didn't think. Oh,
probably.
You rode it while you could. Where's it leaking from?
Up above the carb. Alright, so small update. The smokiness stopped out of the tailpipes, but there is a bunch of gas leaking out of the top of this carb. And that kind of rains on my parade quite a bit. Not gonna lie. I mean, it was spraying out real good, ran all the way down and soaked everything down here. So I've quite the fire hazard. But I don't know. I kind of want to ride around the block even though it's dripping fuel. But we're gonna see. I'm gonna keep poking around and hopefully it's just a missing fitting and not something where I have to take the whole carb apart, because that's not on my list of things to do. But yeah, keep watching and I'll fill you in on the next one. All right, so mostly good news here. I took this bike around the block for the first time. It does run and it does shift, and it didn't catch on fire, which is awesome. The tires are very low on air, so it was wobbling really bad, really hard to keep the fork straight when I came to a stop, but once I put some air in, that should fix that. But yeah, very comfortable, very smooth. I mean, 4-cylinder engine, runs real nice and has an interesting sound, but I'm gonna call this a huge win in my book for an $800 motorcycle. And a week of messing with carbs and a week of messing with valve covers and gas tanks, and this bike will be able to hit the streets. So stay tuned. I might have to pull this carburetor back off, and I really don't want to, but we'll get this thing cleaned out, we'll get this leak figured out, and it looks like this bike is gonna be a keeper. So last night you saw that I got everything put back on, started this bike up, and it was just spitting out gasoline. I tracked it down to gas was spraying out of the overflow tubes on the top of the carb. And I'll show you down here on this, well, the old carb that's dismantled. It's down in here. Man, that is terrible. Let's bring this over here. Is these overflow tubes sit here in the middle of this rail. And there's one on each side. And what was happening was gas was just spraying out. It's up, the carb is upside down right now. Gas was just spraying, no, the carb is right side up. Doesn't matter. The point is the gas was just spraying out of here, and reading online and just thinking through it, that means, to me it means the bowls were overfilling. That's what was happening last night, and so I shut the bike off and just let it sit here overnight, and couldn't sleep. It was just bothering me. I couldn't figure out why. Had to run the fan all night to try and get these gas fumes out of the vents, but came back today and was showing a buddy, and I was getting ready to take the tank off and start pulling the air box back off so I can really pinpoint this leak. And lo and behold, the Lord's favor had smiled upon me, and the bike wasn't leaking any gas. So, super awesome. My theory is that by sitting overnight and running the gas through it last night, that might have given the floats a chance to kind of lubricate. And so I was able to take the bike for another ride. I will say it rides very terribly when you don't have a full amount of air in the tires. So that's very soon on the list. But as a whole, we can call this bike a keeper. So going from here, I mean, that concludes this video. This video is, hey, let's throw the stuff back on and fire it up and do some troubleshooting, and it's gonna wrap this one up. But from here, there'll be some more videos where I keep chipping away at what it needs. If the mechanical stuff is stable, I'm gonna very quickly start working on cosmetics. And as you can see, there's a lot of cosmetics to do. So stay tuned for those videos. We're gonna do things like get this headlight wired back up. I ended up ripping a cable the other day, and it just needs to be rewired. We'll tackle the beast of maybe pulling these off and painting them. I don't know. There'll be a whole long list of things to do next, but yeah, that'll be coming up next. And so I appreciate you guys watching this. If you like it, hit the like button. I don't know what all the stuff YouTubers are supposed to say on their YouTube channel, but Smash that subscribe button, and don't be mean in the comments. And stay tuned for more videos.